on this map again. The third is very, very difficult to be able to secure unless you have some good map control. Pylons on this high ground warping in down to a third in PvP can just be absolutely brutal.
Khaldor, let's put it down. How excited are you to cast a third game? For me, it is so great not only to see a third game finally on the second stream today, but also these PvPs have been so freaking awesome. It is amazing. Usually, I mean, when it comes down to the mirror matchups, I love PvP because it usually revolves around the micro game, and I just love to see how players micro their units. But those games, they were amazing.
They really, really were. And it looks like I've broken this curse, as you were saying. Those two. It's Mr. Bitter's fault.
Yeah, okay, it's Mr. Bitter's fault. I completely agree on it. Ben, if you listen to the gas right now, it's definitely your fault.
Oh dear me. But actually what I've been interested in these two PvPs, normally a few months back we would see some really heavy Archon compositions. You know, just mixing in a few more Archons in order to be able to complement. But it seems like both players have been really, really opting to go for the big two robos off 2 or 3 base. And I love that decision because, I mean, as much as Blizzard wants to kind of say, I mean, Colossus is still king in this matchup.
At the top right, by the way, we have Hydra in the blue color once again. So a quick look at the bases of the two players. He's starting in the blue color. And at the bottom left, we have his opponent. We have JYP. The series is tied 1-1. I think it's the first game for both players in that group, and it's really, really important, of course, that you start off with a win. It just gives you the confidence that you need in order to get into the right mindset to get out of the group ahead. And, well, let's see what's going to happen this time. We already have one Pylon a little bit to the back, kind of hiding it, and obviously able to hide some tech if need be. At the top right, Hydra is starting, and let's be honest about it. Last map, he was behind at a point, but his build seemed to be so great. Every single time he was in trouble, he had an answer. He had something that he could do in order to get back into the game. He was behind after the nice attack by JYP, and then he just dropped units into his opponent's main base, made good use of that robotics, took down 7 to 8 probes, and suddenly he was ahead in economy.
Yeah, he really was, and ultimately, you know, you had to actually make, you know, something happen from there, and we did see that. So for now, it looks like we have what looks like a 3-stalker rush from both players again here, and this is the exact same build that we saw in Game 1 from JYP, just with the nice little pylon complement to be able to spot if any Blinkstalker play would come up there. Obviously not for a while, but in time to play that one.
At the bottom left now, one of the gateways that just were mentioned completes for JYP, chrono boosting the shit out of his cybernetics core. Top right, we have still some energy saved up for Hydra. Harvester count is 22 to 22. Both of them still building a bunch of probes. And I've been talking to a lot of pros players, especially in Korea with Todd, for example. And if you are able to squeeze out just a tiny little bit more, just 1 or 2 additional probes in comparison to your opponent, this is just so great because it will add up over time. It will just maybe enable you to get another stalker, another 2 stalkers, and this can make all the difference.
Especially if you're actually going to be on one base for quite a while. 24 probes over the 16 does give you a little bit better saturation, obviously not as efficiently as it would be if those probes were spread out across 2 bases. But then, you know, if you are able to hold off some great early aggression by your opponent, for example, and then you do go for an expansion behind that, you're always in the lead after that main arc.
We now have both players positioning into robotics. We have both on 2 gateways, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's exactly the case. And JYP, I have to say that I like what he's doing a little bit more. He has control of the Xelnaga Watchtower at least. Hydra, once again, is kind of stuck in his main base. He doesn't have all that many scouting information. He does not really know what's happening. He has this one probe just trying to get a glimpse of his opponent's base in his build, but immediately spotted by JYP's Stalker on take now.
That was great map awareness and control by JYP just in general. I mean, not only does this tower provide him with great vision, but also the pylon on the high ground there. There's a very small slither where a probe can actually sneak down at that side. So controlling that side there with that lone stalker, knowing that there would be a probe out on the map was just really, really good there by JYP.
We have the robotics bay now for Hydra. He's building an immortal, but at the same time the robotics bay is already halfway done. JYP also adding a robotics, but this time it's just exactly what we've seen the last 2 games. JYP in his build is always a tiny little bit slower than Hydra is.
And, you know, I mean, you know, that can add up. That can really add up in this mirror matchup. I think almost more than any other mirror matchup, just like one Colossus can really, really turn a tide if you're able to get like a similar engagement.
Wydra is going straight for the speed for his Warp Prism once again. So he just loves Warp Prisms. He loves Warp Prisms. He was the first Protoss player who really put them to good use. And we already see a pylon at the bottom of the map where he can warp in a couple of units in order to load them into the Warp Prism if need be. I really like it. I really like that he is true to his style, and Wydra, he was very successful with the Warp Prism the last 2 games, so why not go for it again? And JYP is doing exactly the same thing.
Wow, indeed. And, you know, I mean, with this Observer coming in, JYP having a little bit of a look around, but he's not going to spot the... Oh, I don't think he spotted the Warp Prism with that Observer.
No, he didn't.
Oh, so this could be really, really brutal.
Going for the Immortal drop, being a little bit faster than his opponent once again, and just look at it. It's just like, you have the pylon at the top for JYP now. He is doing exactly the same thing. It's just so funny to see both of them not only going for the same build, but at the same time just mirroring each other's movements.
Really does show kind of just the level at which they're both playing. They know like the pylon placements which are going to be able to evade. But nice drop with the Immortals. Will be able to take a free Stalker. For now, the double Immortal drop from JYP is heading across the map, but White Raz already knocking at the door. He's
doing a lot of damage, taking down a pylon as well. Job well done now. Oh, I think he spotted the Warp Prism. Wydra knows what's coming. He knows there's a Warp Prism coming, and there's another pylon being built by JYP. It's going to be pretty interesting, especially since Wydra is now in possession of the first Colossi.
Looks like Wydra wants to return home for now. He knows the impending danger that is on the way. And if JYP can actually drop these Immortals in a position like next to the mineral line, they kill probes so ridiculously fast.
And here they are, trying to take on the economy of Wydra. Wydra needs to do something about it, but it looks really, really like he's not able to do it. We have more units being warped in, but it's going to be a tough one for Wydra. He's headed towards his opponent's base now, trying to make his own Warp Prism drop count, taking on another pylon. And needs to be careful. Is the Stalker dying? Yes, it is. And he's retreating again.
That's something you've always got to be very, very careful against when you know your opponent is going to be going for double Warp Prism. Double Immortals with Warp Prism.
Ooh, losing a sentry. Look at it. JYP apparently completely occupied with his own drop. Was able to take down a pylon of his opponent, but he's losing a sentry. He's losing another pylon. Wydra is supply blocked, but he's still doing such a huge amount of damage now.
Again, you can never really lead with those Stalks if you're going to be going up against this aggression, but at the same time, if you lead with the Zealots, he's just going to pick them up. So Immortal drops, amazing, amazing choice from both players.
And another Immortal drop going off for JYP now. He needs to be really careful though, because this Warp Prism is already under pressure. Wydra with an relentless aggression on his own. And JYP, he lost 1,200 resources already. Wydra only 100. Playing so well, dropping again and killing a bunch of his opponents' probes. Only one Stalker left. There's only one Stalker. That is not enough to kill the Warp Prism. He's everywhere. He is everywhere.
And that's horrible, because now this Warp Prism is way faster, especially considering the building placement of JYP as well. So you can just keep dancing around, maybe even focus down this Colossus. But no, will have to pick up once again.
He's just trying to kill his opponent's Stalker. He's losing one of his Immortals. This is a bit of a problem, and he might just lose. Oh, the Warp Prism dies. The Warp Prism dies, and the Immortal as well. This is brutal. Wydra was looking so good, but just this small mistake puts JYP ahead.
The crazy thing, Khaldor, is I have never seen a mirror matchup that's gone to this mirrored a build. Both players going for double Immortal drops, both players transitioning straight into Colossus, and only now we're just seeing a slight deviation with Wydra actually going for that Twilight Council.
Oh, I have to say, that was really, really brutal. JYP is still putting on the pressure, and this is horrible for Wydra. He played so well. He played extremely well. Took down his opponent's Stalkers. There was nearly no anti-air for JYP whatsoever, and then suddenly Wydra slips, loses the first Immortal, loses the Warp Prism with the second one, and JYP still in a position where he can pressure his opponent. Wydra can't do anything about it. He's losing the pylon at the bottom right. Oh god, this is quite a handful for Wydra now.
And that, I mean, no, just losing those units wasn't the only thing that's going to be hurting Wydra. Unfortunately, he had to replace the Warp Prism, and that takes up very, very valuable robotics facility mining time, especially when you're going into Colossus Wars later on.
And now JYP in a position where he can just start to expand. This is exactly what he's going to do. We already have him in position with a probe. nearly the 400 minerals that he needs. And where's the Nexus? There it is, and at the same time, once again dropping. Just annoying Hydra, pressuring him, trying to put him into the main base, and we have another drop going on for Hydra, but he was spotted. He was spotted already, and there they are, the Stalkers, able to take on the War Prism, chase it away.
There was a brief moment there while White was moving out of his base where his Colossus were way out of position in order to be able to be defended by those Stalkers and Zealots. So he could have actually got maybe one or two of those Colossus with those Immortals had he been really, really on the ball. But unfortunately,
huge problem now for Hydra. He didn't spot the pylon of JYP, so in case he throws down an expansion and tries to build at one, we will have a warp in by JYP, so the Protoss player for Evil Genius is in a really good position now. He has the lead with 113 supply to 96. Once again, pylon pressured by Hydra, but JYP not able to take it down.
And White coming in with more Zealot pressure in the mineral line of JYP here. Going to be able to kill off 1 or 2 probes and then just scooge away for now.
Hydra is committing to this now. He's not expanding. JYP has to cancel the Nexus. He simply has to cancel this. Where is the Nexus cancel? He's not... Finally. Last second cancel. And the main base, once again, the War Prism trying to open up 2 fronts. Oh, the War Prism! No! He's losing the War Prism. The Warmins have been cancelled. Walking up the ramp. Hydra is going for it. He knows he needs to take it now, but will he be able to do so? The count of Colossi for JYP is insane! Will it be enough for Hydra to come out the victor? I actually doubt it, Kalaris. Look at how his supply is flowing down now.
Hydra had charge, but unfortunately that doesn't really matter when you've got an entire furnace waiting to greet those charge lots, and it was just a quick